Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Swift Community Live broadcast of the Fusion ECT race number 6 in the league. We are out on the Innsbruck ring for 6 laps. I'm Nathan Guerra, be your host for the day. Riders are getting out on course right now in the A category. It looked like we had, I believe, as I click through here, as you do get out on course, 36 riders are jumping into the A category race. 64 riders I can see in the B category race. It does look like to be a fairly well contested race as well in the A category and B category. We'll be jumping into the C's as well in just a moment here too, as we do get all of our feeds live. So we will have 3 feeds live. We'll see if we can also grab some of the D feed as well. We have 3 feeds on the day. If you're unfamiliar with the Fusion ECT Racing League, let's do a quick little rundown of the description as well as where the standings are at currently. So this was a series that is running from July 30th all the way through October 1st, and it is all about fair rules and racing. It's really been a league that's been focused in on making sure that the riders are all verified and that the standings and results are 100%, well, as clean as you can possibly get with a community-run event as well as online racing, just like any kind of esports situation. But it is I believe it is best 7 out of 10 in the series, I believe it is. And the scoring goes 20, 18, 16 for the top 3. Then it drops all the way down to 10 for 4th place. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 all the way through there is down to like 8 through 3 points and then 2 points all the way out to 15th. So a lot of points on the line. Outside of 15th place, though, you're not getting a whole lot. Let's go ahead and see how things are panning out, though, in the race as they do jump out on course here. It does look like, let's go ahead and see if we can get this going here. Sorry for the delay there, guys. We just had to make sure all of our feeds were functioning 100% correctly here. But we are looking here at, it looks like, is this actually the man himself, Clausen? I believe. Jay the Clock there from KRT, though. It is going to be Nielsen up toward the front here as well, currently sitting in 23rd place. As you can see, they're going to be heading on over toward the leg snapper. Now, this is 5 laps out here today. It's going to be a longer race. We're looking at 44 kilometers in total on the day. 1.1 miles you can see on the top in the American version of our distances here. So, and Clark there from the BRT team. I did see it looked like 3 riders from the BRT jumping in here. I am seeing a rider out of France here. I'm not exactly familiar with ICA here coming out of France. Is that going to be the Israel Cycling Academy jumping in here with Keresi, actually? This is actually a rider that did participate in the KISS Super League this past spring, so we'll have to see if the fitness from the regular cycling season is going to start playing a little bit of a role in who's going to be winning the race out here today. Let's have a little chat, though, about the current standings in the series, because we have been going on for 6 races. Now, we did miss last week, if you guys were around looking for the broadcast. The reason that happened was because it was a TT, and some of the versions or the ability for viewing TTs at this point in game are not the best for broadcast yet. So as that does get enhanced more and more, we'll be looking to cover those. And I was pretty excited to see if maybe we'd be able to do something with that, but we were unable to jump into the broadcast with that. So that's why we did skip last week. It did look very difficult. TT mode looks really cool, though, as a participant. If you haven't checked it out yet, it is one of the newer modes out on Zwift, and pretty amazing what Zwift has done with it, actually. We do have a little bit of a break off the front here. We're currently looking, it looks like at Hansen here sitting in 18th place. As we do move forward, though, it does look like it's going to be Norgard along with M. Bang. Bang has been definitely one to be watching out for in this series so far. He's been hammering off the front over and over again. The last time I did check, he was sitting somewhere near the top 3. Now in 5th place, as I can see him, Madsbag Anderson here with 4 races in. Simon Nielsen leading out the series. He did overtake, I believe it was Kalman, who was hammering away off the front end with a solid he was up in the 50s of points here, but he's been overtaken with only 3 races in. I'm not sure he's actually raced since I've done a broadcast, actually. So it looks like Alexei Kalaman's going to have to be jumping in here. 7 total will count. We're into race number 6. Today he would have to jump in. Let's see here. He does have 4 more options, I believe it is, to grab a race. So he's got to do every race from here on out. If he's not out here today, I'll be checking the results and looking through the rider list to make sure that he is. Looking through here, Anders Jensen, it looks like, Simon Nielsen. So Simon Nielsen currently in first place, 78 points total overall right now. Alexei Kalman is sitting second place in the series with 56 points. It's Anders Jensen in third place. All riders from the Fusion ECT team, esports cycling team here. But now it is going to be Stian Lursveen. I'd be watching out for him. He's riding for the Vikings. Watch out for them out there in that Tour of California kit. This is a rider that's extremely strong and has shown himself strong in the sprints. If he can make it to the sprint here in this race out here today, I'd be watching out for him for sure. Sitting in fourth place with 38 points. Currently, he's got 1 win to his name in the series. Stian Lursveen's going to be hunting down the Fusion ECT team, but he is surrounded, obviously, with the top 3 on the podium currently in this series. But then Mads Bang Anderson, who is in this break, 13 seconds up with Norgard here, as well as Jesper Adderman there, sitting in it looks like 6th place. Tied with Mike Davis. We did see Mike Davis actually with a win 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. Solidly timed sprint out on the New York course, actually. Mike Davis, Team Experimental, 32 points and tied for 6th place. So I did see Davis's name out there on course as well. So I believe he's in here today. But the leg snapper is one of those places out on course that just makes things extremely difficult, and not sure the sprinter type Mike Davis is going to be able to make it to the line. Now, he does have the kick, though, I believe. Now, here is Davis, Team Experimental in the black and green kit, and he does have a pretty good turn of speed for these shorter efforts. He may be able to make it over the top here. I'm not sure that this breakaway is going to survive. I do have the feeling that a lot of these riders are just kind of biding their time right now, waiting for this leg snapper, as we do kick into about 8% now, as you can see. Rasmussen now making his way to the front from the Fusion development team, but at the very front of the chase. Let's see if we can find the rider here that is hammering away and really pushing things. It looks like it might be far up. No, it is going to be a rider out of France, maybe. Hutchsasser here now, as well as Clark there, the BRT rider there in the light and dark gray. In the primal on the side there, kit now. BRT with N. Clark looking to close things down. It's only a 5-second gap now. Bang trying to hold on to it. This could be a dangerous moment, actually, with the speed over the top here. Sitting in third place now. Clark trying to close that gap. Hansen right behind him here. Hansen's going to close it right on down. Grab that wheel. Get the draft here. Up and out of the saddle, Clark goes to try and gain some more speed. Fusion development behind with Peterson and Nielsen here. But that's a 5-second gap. And they may not want to chase down Bang because they have a teammate up ahead at this point here. And Bang now kicking again over this low 6% gradient. This is the last kick before they head into the sprint area out on course here. 659 watts from Clark into them orange numbers there. 173 beats per minute, though definitely pushing into the threshold. And as we look behind here, the pack is chasing things down. There's always that here they come, shut it down moment, and there it comes from Clark, because we do see that 2.8 watts per kilogram, knowing that this isn't going anywhere. Norgard, though, might have a little bit of motivation yet. Adderman now, 12 watts per kilogram, seeing that it's almost closed down, might be able to take that speed off of the downhill. This is perfect timing, actually. You roll right on off the downhill here. You get a little bit of a gap. They slow down at the front because they just are looking for reprieve. And will it be a break still? No. It shuts down. Norgard sees that the writing is on the wall. And at this point, it looks like we do have a break. Well, main group perhaps, as we do have, looks to be 21 riders. So main front group, we would call it then. It looks like this is interesting. The Frenchman here looked like he was one of the riders that was going to be closing things down on the Z power, so cannot win the race, but going to get a good workout at 161 beats per minute, hammering away right now. Fromlin here now from Fusion ECT did find himself off the back here, so here are some of the strugglers biting the dust from the first time over the leg snapper. Snapped off the back, that's for sure. 9 seconds is the difference to close down. If they don't shut it down at the front end of this race right now, it is going to be a difficult difficult day for these boys here. We'll see if they can make this happen. Though it's only 8 seconds. The race is not all said and done, but they definitely need to get a move on if it's going to anything is going to be happening here for them in this race here outside of 26th or better. And Fromlin, I believe is somewhere in the standings. He's been showing up to quite a few races here. Looking through, not in the top 18 though, so maybe not a threat here out here today. Jump back into the main group though. As we do head forward, it is going to be another attack heading into the second lap already. Hansen, nobody's slowing down. M-Bang is just like, let's make something happen here. And it's going to be far up there from the Vikings, though, instigating at 5.2 watts per kilogram on the front. Bang here now with Norgard again following it up. It's a 1 second gap with Hansen. Bergenski from the BRT trying to follow up after Clark jumps back into the pack there from the BRT. Just was a part of some of the fireworks just a moment ago. Do see all your comments coming on through over on Facebook. We'll get our social media integration as soon as possible. Good to see Jason Stern. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Martin, good evening, ZCL. Nathan Garrett, good to see Martin Jortvik from SCR hanging out here as well. Dennis Both, good to see you, as well as Basti Lowe. Thanks a lot, everybody. Jason Stern, we get a lot of different pronunciations. The one pronunciation that I would say is not correct is Guerra. There is no Guerra. There is no. How do you pronounce Guerra? No, it's not Guerra. There's no W in there. It is definitely Guerra or Guerra. Guerra, I think, is the closest to the Spanish pronunciation. Guerra. So thanks a lot for the question there, Jason Stern. We've said Guerra way too many times at this point. Holly Peckover, good to see you. Seeing G. Thomas in the race. Is that the G. Thomas? Does it actually have a... If it is, it would have a badge next to his name. There would be a pro badge for sure. So I do not believe it's going to be the G. Thomas. Jacob Hoffman saying, go bang. And Claudia Baring in here saying, homesick, watching ZCL winning. Good to see you there, Claudia Baring. And nice job on all of the leading of the Zwift Academy rides for the women. We definitely been seeing some of your posts out there, and very cool to see all of the ride leaders that have been serving the community. As well as all the race organizers. Thanks a lot to all the race organizers that are out there serving the community as well, putting hard work in to get these things done. So Zwift Academies seem to be extremely successful. I think I just got like one more race or / group ride or a workout to do. And so the cutoff was, I believe, yesterday, right? No, 2 days ago, the 1st of September to sign up. But make sure to get on it if you did just sign up, because those workouts are difficult. I still got to do workout number 7. That I drank nothing but coffee and maybe one other diuretic type beverage that day for workout number 7, and absolutely failed it. Drank a ton of water and figured out what the problem was shortly afterward. But watch out for workout number 7, everybody. Number 7 is a doozy, that's for sure. But Clark here up toward the front here, most likely also looking for some water at this point. At 146 beats per minute, calming right on down. And I believe this is going to be those moments that they are reaching for those water bottles out on course with this lead group. I think they are looking at about 21 riders still. Team Mueller there from R2. The German team, actually, making his way to the front. Ooms here from CLS is in there as well. Always been a threat in the races. All right, so we chatted a little bit about the A category. We are looking at Simon Neeson, Alexei Kalaman, and Anders Jensen. That's your top 3. I'm not seeing Steen Lerfsveen out here today. Hopefully he jumped in. I'm going to keep on looking out for him because he is a threat to hit the podium. But if he didn't show up today, it's not going to change up the podium for the overall series too much. In the B category, though, let's go ahead on over to our B category situation currently. We're currently looking at looks to be the 32nd place out on course. It's going to be Svensson here now. Moving on forward, though, we're looking for Larson from Fusion Development here. Storm's in there as well. Kroll, it's going to be Cookson, and then K Blades. David Rosales here, coming out of Spain, though. He's going to know how to say guerra there for you, Stern. Maybe we need to get him in here for a an interview after the race, especially if he gets the W in here. But Cookson here from Cryogen leading things out 152 beats per minute there. there. But it's going to be Ivar Berget there. For the dirt team that's currently leading things out. Dad's inside riding trainers. They're the ones who are currently leading the B category with 5 races in 90 points. This guy, Ivar, from coming out of Norway, is just absolutely dominating this this series so far. I'm going to have to be looking out and see where are things at when it comes to the live results for these riders in the B categories. Ivar out here today. It does look like he is. So it does look like the dirt rider is currently in and amongst this group here. So looking to defend currently still. So Dad's inside rider trainers absolutely killing it in the B category. And could extend that lead in the league. It is going to be Michael Heiberg, though, from the Fusion Development Team, and then Alexis Luge from the 3R team there in 3rd place. Ned Bowen in 4th, and it's going to be in 5th place Jens Frad Rasmussen for Fusion Development as well. So that is your top 5 in this B category we're currently watching. We'll be looking out for them, those top 5 riders, to see how they perform out here today, if it's going to change up any of the results. Looking through for the C category then, we do have a C category feed as well. We only have 3 feeds on the day today, so we'll see if, as things do finish up, if we're able to jump in with the Ds. But in the C category, as you can see here, we're sitting in with, it looks like, the top 4 or so. It is going to be Lefebvre here now with Nield, and then S. Holder with a little bit of a break, actually. Holder here, 3.6 watts per kilogram. We'll see if these riders may be a little bit over category limits, but in this category we're currently watching, it is going to be Charlie Ryan NTR in 1st place with 5 races, tied exactly with Istok Nez there from the dirt team as well. And then it's going to be Richard Dallin there coming from the Vikings. So that is going to be your top 3 in this category. So Dallin is out there from the Vikings looking to try and increase his results. He's got 56 points, so Dallin, when he shows up, he's got 3 races and 56 points, just chomping at the heels of Isaac Knez as well as Charlie Ryan. So this rider, Dallin here, I believe he could be your series leader by the end here, because when he shows up, it looks like he wins. His ranking in here, he averages 18.7 per race. The other riders that are ahead of him with 5 races in, though, average 12.4 points per race. So I have a feeling that with the C category, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. The whole time I'm talking here, and it's actually, there's your C category. So here's Dallin, and Dallin here, 2.5 watts per kilogram. There is a little bit of a break off the front. Not sure that those riders are actually going to be counted, though, in the overall. We are looking here, though, at the rider out of Germany. I believe riding for, it's going to be Rue Riders here. Shorgen Hummer. I hope I get that right every time I do say it here. But sitting at about 2.8 watts per kilogram. He's currently in 7th place overall with 5 races. So consistent here for sure, showing up week in and week out. We are starting to get into that situation, though, as we get closer to the 10 races, when it starts to really get down to results. You start seeing things clear out where people's worst races start getting shed from their overall. So for those that do have 7 or more races, they'll start dropping off some and gaining points there. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends up playing out. But this is your C category riders here. 11.3 kilometers into their total of 44, I believe, kilometers on the day. So that's for the A category, though. I have to double check and see if there is any difference between the categories as far as how far they are actually going on the day. If there's a little bit of a difference, I didn't actually check the race description to see if there was a difference between the categories and how far they were going to be going. But all right, A category, though, let's jump back in with the second time over the top of the leg snapper here as we head to the front. It is going to be Fusion Dev here sitting in 8th place here with Peterson here, but Clark again being aggressive, trying to chase down the Z-Power rider a little bit. It was Norgard and M. Beg. They seem to have this down about how to have a break before this section. It seems they keep on going as they head through that finish banner with a little bit of a break and get chased on down here. The leg snapper, will it again be the doom of this breakaway from these two riders, as Bang and Norgard seem to have a plan out here today? 181 beats per minute, they'll come from Norgard. So Bang for Fusion ECT here now trying to lead things out. Norgard trying to find that wheel. I wonder if Norgard actually rides for Cryogen, because they do use the Tour de Pure if he just likes the Tour de Pure kit. With that Tron bike looking Pretty slick there, I think. Perhaps he may be riding for Cryogen and just doesn't have it in the name. Yes, he does. I can see it in the Zwift Power results right now. So Team Cryogen here, right alongside him, bang. Oftedal from the KRT team, trying to close it down. One of the longest standing teams out on course here, KISS Racing Team. Oftedal out of Norway here, with Peterson there from Fusion Dev. Far up there out from the Vikings, also there toward the front, putting in some work, it looks like. 3.4 watts per kilogram on the downhill. Not super interested in putting in too much more because the pack will be rewarded with a little extra speed, just like anywhere you would be in a situation like this, like in real life, essentially. So, looking through here, how many rounds in this race? Dennis Both, thanks a lot for the question. Dennis Both, great question. And there are 10 rounds total. We are on round number 6. Your best 7 of 10 will be counted. Thomas Manley's letting us know that Norgard is a Danish elite rider who next season will race full-time in Italy. So we've got some real talent out on course here. We'll have to be looking up some more stats besides. Lucas Norgard, though, we're being told, elite racer, full season, full-time in Italy next year, and now he's showing us he's got full-time on the front here pulling this group around. He's averaged 5.2 watts per kilogram so far out here today, so he has been absolutely demolishing this race. The highest average watts per kilogram so far in the race is going to be Lucas Norgard coming out of Denmark actually here. Battling it out against the Fusion ECT team, and it's interesting to see actually Fusion ECT, almost all Danish riders here, and fighting up against their fellow countrymen, but riding for Team Crowdgen actually 21:02 at 21:22 here. Christian Oftendal now coming through. 4.5 watts per kilogram is what he's been putting out on average so far. Amongst the lowest though, that's been playing it smart out there in this main group. You don't got to put out 5.2 to hang on. Look at the difference here. The lowest watts per kilogram in this lead group at this point, from what I can see, is 3.5 watts per kilogram. We're talking in the almost C category. Some like just a little bit over C category numbers. Some of these riders playing it very smart, knowing that this is going to be a long race out here today. And 3.5, 3.6, Simon Nielsen there, 3.6 watts per kilogram, still in the lead group here. 3.8 there from Jacques Leclerc, but he's off the back actually, 21 seconds. Still a good chase coming on here from this chase group though. Rasmussen, though, 38 seconds. Jade Clock now at the 39 seconds. Brigensky from the BRT. Surprised to see those riders on the back. I think they just got caught out, as those are some very strong riders that have found themselves in the chase here. But 3.5 watts per kilogram. Tobias Mueller, Rue Riders. Watch out for him in the sprint. Saving things up, it looks like here. He's got 10.5, though, for a sprint there. One that we're going to really be watching out for. I'd be watching out for Far Up, though. He's got quite the kick, according to the numbers here. Looking through, and what is Far Up doing here so far? On average, 3.6, I believe it is. I'm looking here also. Mike Davis, another one we saw with a sprint out on the New York course just a couple weeks back there. Also, a 3.6 or 3.5 watts per kilogram so far. So some of these riders obviously saving up for the sprint, just following wheels. Some of the stronger riders with the climb, some of the stronger riders with some longer punch here in the VO2 max and not a pure sprint. They're going to want to really turn the screws here to try and drop some of these other riders off, put it down, VO2, go into a breakaway type mode, and really hammer down for a solid lap. You might be able to drop some of them off. You never know, though, with the risk. Do you put the chips on the table? Do you take that risk and make sure, because a lot of times if it doesn't pay off, that sprinter you just wasted everything you had there, and that sprinter's got that much more of a chance, actually. 10 times on the leg snapper will be a small group to battle it out at the end, I bet. 10 times. I think it's 5 times. 5 times on the leg snapper? Are we doing 10 times on the leg snapper? That'd be absolutely insane. Did the race suddenly get extended by double? Did somebody want Nathan to speak longer? Is that what happened here? I think we're doing 5 out there today, Dennis. I believe, unless I was mistaken. It's going to be a long day for the broadcast out here today. If we're doing 10, we have to invite some people on in to have some chats here. If we're going for 10 out here today, but appreciate everybody jumping into the broadcast. Now, if you did not know, we are live over on Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, as well as Facebook. You are watching on the Facebook feed. A quick little suggestion, because Facebook does not always tell you whenever we do go live unless you actually turn on the notifications, hit the follow button, the like button and the follow button. Turn on your notifications for the Zwift Community Live page. But at the same time, you know what I've noticed about watching things on social media? I don't really like to be bothered on social media. I like to go through my feed, check a couple things out, and move on a lot of times. And I appreciate all those, and we appreciate all those that jump in, check it out for a minute, and then move on. But if you want to consume the broadcast on a space that's made for live streaming, where it's a little bit more for hanging out, the feel of it is a little bit more for hanging out, make sure to go out and follow over on Twitch, Mixer, or YouTube. We do have a contingency of viewers over there as well. So if you jump on over there, we are watching the comments over on those platforms as well. We will bring your questions and comments on in shortly as well from those platforms. I appreciate all the viewers at both of those. If you turn on your notifications on those platforms, it will also push to your mobile app if you do download the app for them. Are you broadcasting tomorrow for the Zwift Classics? Claudia, a little bit involved, but I am not going to be a part of the live. Zwift Live will be doing that as a Zwift-owned production. So Zwift Community Live most definitely here for all of the community things that are happening. But for the Zwift Classics, that is a Zwift, full-on Zwift production, whereas Zwift Community Live is a community production, though. So that's the main difference there between those two things. So sometimes I am in on the commentary as a talent there, a little bit more doing some things in the background for the classics tomorrow, but I'll definitely be there commenting and watching and involved in some of the in the background there. But off the dial here with the KRT team here, Norgard as well as Bang looking to try and get away. It looks like Nielsen with a little bit of move. Davis pushing out a solid 5.6, maybe looking to get into a breakaway, maybe thinking that this is a situation that might be the death knell to a win for Team Experimental. He is solo out here today, though. 3.4 watts per kilogram with no teammates to chase things down, surrounded by nothing but Fusion. It is breaking apart, though, here. Look at this. Nielsen, 19th place here, just trying to hang on. 161 beats per minute here. Van Gale here out of Belgium, then it's going to be Davis hanging on in the back there. Lursveen here, we were looking for him, wasn't sure if he was out here, and this is the man in 4th place looking to follow wheels and get the win to try and take over one of those podium spots. Lursveen actually going to be one that we're going to be watching out all the way to the end of this series, I believe, because he's currently sitting at 38 points, chomping at the bit here to take over some of those top spots there. We saw him with a solid sprint as well. In the first, I believe it was, I think it was the first race, because he does have a win, Stian Lursveen here from the Vikings. Has not been able to repeat, though, so far. We'll have to wait and see if he can try and pull something off here later in the series here. Davis may be thinking that this break is actually going to stick as we do get a little bit further on into the glycogen burn of the race, taking away that energy from the legs. You know, about 2.5 laps at this point, 2 times over the leg snapper. This is not a bad bet to go all in here. Nielsen now seeing maybe this is a section here. And look, the gap is there. It is 4 seconds. Lursveen trying to go with it here. They need to not slow down, though. That's going to be the thing. They have enough people. There's definitely enough. 8 now in this group here with Lursveen, 4th overall. Nielsen's in there. Davis is in there. A lot of top 10 riders. They got Norgard in here as well, the elite racer. Coming out of Denmark, though, on the front there, it's going to be off the one of the strongest riders from KRT we've ever seen at 187 beats per minute, driving the pace here. Goranson here out of Sweden, seeing no, not going to let this go, knowing that this is a threat, kicks it into the orange numbers here, but they know the leg snapper is coming. This is always the bet that you're like, I don't want to put any work in right now because I know what's coming. What's the least amount of work I can do? But at a certain point, you're getting so close to that climb, you're like, I got to just close this now, because if it doesn't get closed, I got to close it on the climb, and I might fall off over the top. That's what these riders are thinking. Close it down now. Do not get cut out, and get that rest before the leg snapper. And that's what just happened. It did not stick, and they closed it. They shut it on down, back down to 3 watts per kilogram, and everybody's going to be looking for a wheel, get the heart rates back down. Nobody dropped off. They put some work in here, and that might have softened up the legs a little bit, though. For some of these other riders, some of these riders that might be struggling over the top of the leg snapper each lap, they may struggle this time a little bit more to the point that they fall off. So this may have been a worthy, worth the effort from some of these riders to try and push that pace before the leg snapper this lap here. Third time coming in here is going to be 2 more after this. We'll see if this does cause another break. 19 riders toward the front of this race at this point in race number 6 in the Fusion ECT Racing Series. Jamie Dugan, good to see you there out in the broadcast. Asking if 40 is out there racing this week. I'm looking through out here, and I'm not seeing 40 out on course here today in the A category. Looks like he's taking the week off. I'm actually not seeing 40 in the results overall either when it comes to the A category. 28th place with 1 point, so that may be why he backed off from the series, as he put one race in and grabbed 2 points, so he was in the top 15. But I think when he did jump in, it was like later in the races, and with only 2 points, perhaps not going to be able to be a threat. So maybe focusing his efforts elsewhere in the series out there. So appreciate the comment there, Jamie Dugan, though, and we'll be watching out for 40 in some of our other broadcasts. Toward the front here, though, we do see Lursveen. We've been watching him. He's been quiet. He hasn't been toward the front. He's been waiting, it looks like, lurking for those moments. And now he's looking to follow the wheels at the front of the race here, knowing that this is when we get into the business end of the race. 2 times over already, into the third, now halfway up. BRT, Clark, always been instigating. Now it's going to be bang to the front from Fusion ECT, as you can see there as well. Backing off the 5.4 as they come over the top here. Hansen going with it. Looks like on the back, though, is a Cryogen, unable to hang on. Is that Norgard? No. Has he been falling off now at this point? Has it been too much effort here perhaps? Mueller, 3-second gap there. Davis just hanging on. Look at how spread out this is. They're all looking for a wheel, getting into the Super Tuck. Some of you may not know, the Super Tuck actually gives you an aero power up gives you the speed of an aero power up on the downhills, but it only works when it's a 3% gradient or more, and over, I believe it is 35 miles per hour. But if you are looking for a little extra speed in game, get over 35 miles per hour on a 3% downhill gradient or more, and you do get that Super Tuck, and that is going to be the speed of an aero power up actually. But you got to time it well, because if it comes off of it and you're at 0 watts, you're going to slow right on down. It's a very tricky little control of the legs and the power as you do put it out there. Davis able to hang on here, but it's going to be Peards, it looks like, and Peterson here. This is what they were looking to do. They were looking to whittle things down. It was 19 riders over the top. Now we're down to 14 riders with Norgard sitting on the back here. The damage has been done by the firepower in this A category, hammering away. Now, as you can see, Hansen, Fusion ECT, R2 with Mueller there. Lursveen again, Davis, Lursveen. Those two, those are ones I'm watching for the sprint. They've been quiet. They've been lurking. Far up, I think, is the workhorse there for that Vikings team out here today. So looking through Ooms, it looks like here, coming out of the Netherlands now as well, keeping it pretty steady there, 4.2 watts per kilogram. As they do head on through the sprint banner, they'll be looking for who has made it over the leg snapper. There is kind of a marker. You kind of look around at some of these sections before you head into the straightaway, into the lap finish banner. A lot of times there's these different sections of course in the geography of each course, and there's moments where you're going to most likely find a reprieve. You're most likely going to be able to sit up and look around. This is definitely one of them. Going under this Go Zwift Ride On banner over the top there. You take this right-hand turn, and then a lot of times you do see anybody who's kind of antsy does look for a little bit of attack off this little downhill 4% gradient, perhaps to try and get a sneaky breakaway as they do head through this section here. But with 2 laps to go and a lot of effort put out so far over the leg snapper, I would not be surprised to start seeing some of those who are not looking for a sprint to try and get a TT away at some point here, break away and win solo, or perhaps whittle it down to 1 or 2, maybe 3 riders. Davis, 1.2 watts per kilogram. This boy knows how to draft. Look at him. 119 watts, 153 beats per minute out of California here. Southern California boy here looking to try and take another win in the sprint situation. Fusion ECT across the pond looks like has plenty of riders, though, to follow any of the moves and contest that sprint. Interesting to see how Norgard goes, though. We have, this is a rider that we've heard from chat, very strong in real life rider. If we do look at some of the past results on Zwift from Norgard, I am seeing level 31, solid rider from what I can tell here. Be looking through for his activities though. It does look like he's done quite a lot of racing actually already today. As I'm seeing 203 he was riding, it looks like. It looks like he did a 3R figure 8 hilly as well as a 3R volcano circuit, if I'm not incorrect. Is this right around 5 hours of riding so far? Is if I'm or is that from yesterday? But I'm looking at Al Norgard here and his results, and he may have already done quite a few races here already today. Pretty cool to see if that's true. 939393 all wins. 55 watts per kilogram, 333 watts in the first race of the day. He actually hasn't been out on Zwift for, it looks like, 4 months. The last time Norgard was out on Zwift was back on May 12th, 2019, and he did 2 back-to-back races then as well. He did a volcano flat race for 2 laps and a park perimeter 60-kilometer race, averaging between 4.3 and 5.1 watts per kilogram. So Norgard jumps out on Zwift and just races back to back to back. He did the same thing on the 8th of May as well. 5.8 watts per kilogram for the duration of a 2-lap 3R Richmond UCI hilly race, one of the most difficult races you could courses you could do. 3R Gotham grind for 3 laps, and then our 3R Classic flat race for 4 laps. Won each one of them back on May 8th. This Lucas Norgard is no joke. If I haven't seen this guy, I haven't seen this guy race, but it looks like back in May he just did like 4 days of racing. Like he did some sort of, it looks like he did some sort of a personal tour of Zwift racing out there actually from the 3rd to the 12th, racing almost every day and like 2 or 3 races a day actually. So looks like he's jumping back in for the same kind of a thing as, according to Zwift Power right now, he raced the 3R Volcano for 8 laps already today, a 3R figure 8 hilly reverse race for 1 lap, and he did the VZT Tofu Tornado as well right before this for, I'm not sure how many laps that actually was. It was 1 lap for 30 kilometers of the Watopia figure 8 course actually, and now he's out here for 5 in this race. So if Norgard's able to take the win, that'll be 4 on the day. Absolutely insane the kind of power and results that this rider is putting down here. So looking through here, a couple more comments coming on through from Facebook. Jamie Dugan, good to see you. Okay, was riding with him on Sunday. Forgot to ask. He is a monster. Yeah, 40 it definitely is. Thomas Malo is saying, started racing Zwift because of a broken collarbone. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate the comments there. So it's good to hear that he's jumping on Zwift. Sorry to hear that broken collarbone, but a lot of times, especially because of the Zwift racing, I found you come back that much stronger actually. So it'd be cool to see if the results do come from the racing on Zwift and how much he's been able to jump back out on here. So this is race number 4 for Norgard though today. We'll see if he's got the kick up against some of the strongest riders out on course. Definitely a small group. Adam Zimmerman, good to see him jumping out on the broadcast here and making a comment. Purds has fallen off with Peterson just a little while ago. Looks like they've been in chase mode for a while, but unable to close things down. 14 racers. Davis sitting in with Far Up. We've got 2 Vikings. 2 of the Vikings. It's going to be Far Up along with I believe Lursing still in there. Hansen with the dropout, I believe that was, no, who had the dropout there? Was it Hansen? Hansen did have a dropout. Not trying to kick in the 6.5 watts per kilogram, but he's not going to be coming back. So Fusion drops a rider off their flat tire. Maybe trying to get in with the Devs, though, here with Peards and Peterson here, trying to pull them along. That may be what's going on here, that he was just waiting up. It looked like a full-on dropout there, especially with the heart rate not being on there. So I have a feeling that perhaps that is what is going on. Looking through, though, Lursing is sitting in, as the Vikings are going to be looking to try and get him across line in the top spot they possibly can. All right, let's go ahead and check out what's going on with the B and the C category. It's been a little while since we've checked in with them. Here is Cookson from Cryogen, it looks like here, as well as Blades, and then it's going to be Vale from Race 3R. Larson from the Fusion Dev team as well. Looks like in the B category, things have been a little bit calmer from what I can tell. We are seeing, it looks like 18 riders, a little bit larger pack here in the B category, 27.4 kilometers in, 38 minutes of racing down so far as they head into their final 2 laps. But amongst the riders here, Luge Alexis Luge coming out of France for the WBR Race 3R team. Currently sitting in third place overall. He is going to be watching out, I believe, according to the league standings. Let's see what we can see here. But Luge in third place. He's been watching out for Heiberg and Burgett. He hasn't been able to get the better of Ivar Burgett, I do not believe. As Burgett, well, maybe one race, as Burgett's taken a second and a third. So perhaps Luge did get the better of him once or twice, but he's definitely going to need more than that, as Burgett's got 90 points up against Alexis Luge's 31 points. So Ivar Burgett from the Dirt team is just absolutely walking away with this B category out in Norway here. Where is the rider, though, Burgett there? He's not toward the front from what I can see. D. Williams from the KRT here. Bachelor off the front here. So good to see these two riders hammering away. Solid effort. First and second place so far. Ivar Burgett here. Where is he? There he is, but he's in the chase group. It is only 4 seconds, though, at this point. But he's going to be probably watching out for this. If these are points that are going to be very valuable, you know, it does drop off pretty quickly. And you risk it for a sprint. Coming to the line with this many riders, and it's over 15 actually in the group. So with that many riders in there, you might end up with 0 points if you do get caught out in the wrong position here. Our Bachelor there with Dafford Williams from the KRT team still on the push here, 164 beats per minute. While Williams here, as they do head through the downtown area of the Innsbruck Ring. They are a little ways off from the leg snapper. A category a little ways ahead of them here and heading toward their 4th time over the top of the leg snapper. C category, let's go ahead and jump on in with them, see how things are going. Still a strong contingency. Everybody kind of watching each other, it seems like, you know, these sections of the course, but that's mainly going to be because of the nature of this course, the leg snapper being so incredibly difficult. At the front, though, there is a breakaway of 3. I'm going to go ahead and check the results here for the average watts per kilogram between the riders to see how things have been playing out. But Jack Brewer, with Stuart Holder, they are definitely over category limits, the riders that are up ahead here in this C category. If there is one rider, though, that's in there, it is going to be Nield. And Nield actually not in the results at all, actually. So he's not registered with ZwiftPower.com, actually. So looking through, this is going to be the official lead group, though, then, because they are within the category limits. If you're wondering, what are you talking about with category limits? You're new to Zwift racing. You might not understand what is going on with those category limits. The idea here with categories is everybody's got somebody around their ability level, somebody to race against that's not going to just blow the doors off of the race and walk away with it completely unfair. So in each category, certain watts per kilogram of body weight are expected, because watts per kilogram is what makes you go fast on a bike, essentially. You're going to be pushing the weight of the avatar in-game forward, similar to what you would in real life by pushing power against the weight of your body to move the bike forward. So watts per kilogram for the D category is going to be 2.5 watts per kilogram or less. In the C category, 2.5 to 3.2. In that B category, it's going to be 3.2 to 4.0. And 4.0 or higher is that A category. So in this category C that we're looking at right here, the expectation is that you put out 2.5 to 3.2. If you do not do so and you go over those category limits for what your functional threshold power might be for the duration of 20 minutes to 1 hour, you will get upgraded on ZwiftPower.com and will be removed from the results from the C category, whatever category it might be that you're pushing over. So if you are over those category limits, as the 3 on the front are, you do need to upgrade, and they will most likely be removed from the race results. Now, I'm just a broadcaster. I don't set the rules, and I do not enforce them. I just read them off. So it's up to the race organizers to handle that. But it does look like Fusion ECT is doing an amazing job with that, as we do look at the C category heading into the Innsbruck Ring for their 4th time out on course here. Jumping back in with the A category, as there is a breakaway happening. They just did their 4th time up and over the top here. We missed the attack, but it definitely puts some more hurt into the legs. And each time we hit this climb, we see a little bit more of a gap develop here. And we do see Nielsen here into that tuck. 2.2, now 5.0 watts per kilogram, as you can see. They've got a 3-second gap over the DBR rider here, as you can see. It looks like it's going to be Favero Estimio. Davis here, the rider that we've been watching for, waiting to see if he's going to be able to make the sprint here. He waits for this downhill, gets the opportune section there, and kicks into a solid 11 watts per kilogram quickly. They're 174 beats per minute coming from Nielsen here following the wheel. It's going to be, it looks like, Norgard there as well as Mueller. Ooms there, far up, able to hang on. Peards, though, still off the back, 17 seconds, almost got back on turns, but unable to do so. Davis now maybe in a little bit of spot of bother here. 2 seconds is the gap here. They make some continuance, though. Ooms, though, comes right on through. The Vikings there, Norgard, Lursveen, he needs to make something happen. He sits in. He found the wheels here, it looks like, with far up his teammate there, 16 meters back. Will they close it down? Race of meters. It's 2 seconds is the difference here. The riders at the front here, knowing that they're in a struggle. Norgard now sees that it's a threat there. 11 watts per kilogram, 10 watts per kilogram. Does not want to drag the rest of the riders with. He sees that they're all suffering. They do not want to do the work. The other riders that got a little bit of kick, try and grab the wheel there, but how much do they actually have here? Davis now just hanging on. The sprinter might be caught out completely. Some of the pure sprinters in this group are just looking for wheels, looking to get dragged up here, as they may not have the pure FTP and VO2 max effort that is needed to hang on to the kind of attack that we're seeing from Altadal and Clark and Bang here, trying to shed some of the dead weight that is the sprinters in these sections of the course. Hansen now, 8-7 now, as you can see, 1 second's difference, completely strung out now, doing the damage. Fusion ECT and BRT, 1-2 at the front. It's a little bit of ropey dope here, and the slugging just keeps coming here. Will it be a knockout here for these riders that are trying to make the chase? Who is going to hang on? They are definitely up against the ropes. And even Norgard, 3 races on the day. How much more does this rider have? Kicks again, 700 watts. He's got to hang on. Ooms going with it. It's going to be Fusion ECT with Davis, far up, as well as, I believe this is going to be Fetterman, I believe it is, Nielsen. Looking through the results here real quick, as we're not getting the full name. Jesper Adderman here, just hanging on. They all close the gaps down, but they see that they're looking for reprieve. They're looking for every bit of reprieve they can get. Just a little bit of rest is what they're screaming for at this point. Clark, Oftedal, Carity at the front now. Hansen hanging on, 187 beats per minute, trying to make something happen here. Not sure he's going to be able to pull it off, though, as the riders are being able to close it down. Bang. It looks like, though, Nielsen, DBR, as well with Favero here, just hanging on, but the splits are happening. The elastic eventually is going to go, and there it goes. Hansen kicking again. They're all just trying to form some sort of organization as Oftedal and Bang continue to push the pace. Clark, seeing that this is a serious threat now, looks to go across. Favero Siomo there as well. Hansen still hanging on. It looks like Adderman, Mueller. Where is Norgard? Is he able to hang on at this point? And it looks like it's going to be Oftedal still driving the pace, 189 beats per minute there. Clark coming through from the BRT. It's a 2-second gap. We've got 3 now on the front. They've got the gap. It's formed, and Thorgenson's just saying enough is enough and shuts it down. They finally slapped the elastic here, and they've broken free. Nobody has the effort any longer to close this down, and that's what they were looking for. You saw how long they had stretched up for. They knew that there was a suffering behind. They knew that eventually these riders were going to have to stop pedaling at the pace that they had, because it was not creating. Whenever you see the pack like that, not bunching up, not starting to hold hands, you know that every rider is just trying to hang on to the wheel that is immediately in front of them at that point. Lursveen and Hansen with a little bit of a rest, now going into the orange numbers to try and close things down. We're into the final lap. There's 3 out the front. Lursveen looking to make it 4. It's going to be Hansen here from Fusion ECT trying to go with him, but he's 12 meters back. He has no draft, and Lursveen, the sprinter that won race number 1, sitting in 4th place overall in this series right now, looking to go across, and it looks like it's going to happen here. We're going to have 5 in the break, and they've made it happen. It took 4 laps, though, on the Innsbruck ring here, 4 times over the leg snapper to take the energy that was needed to be pulled out of the legs of these A category riders to see the cream of the crop, though. And there it is. It's at the top of the leaderboard. 5 riders in this break, but they got to continue. They got to work together. You've got a KRT rider, we got a BRT rider, we've got a Viking, and we've got two Fusion ECT. Will the Fusion ECT riders sacrifice for each other here? Thorgensen for DBR here, try to close things down. Farup's not going to chase. Lurse's up ahead. Fusion ECT with Nielsen, he's not going to chase here. It's going to be up to Davis, Mueller, DBR as well here. It's going to be up to these riders, as well. It's going to be up to them to make this chase. 4 seconds, 5 seconds at this point, with this much energy expended, this much glycogen stores completely wasted, well, not wasted, but put out on course, risked so far. It's going to be very difficult at this point in order to close anything down with that kind of energy already expended. Oftedal, though, just continues on. He just says, hold my wheel. Here we go. Big Watts, this guy just wants to make it fast and say, can you hang on? This is full-on Consolara type style here. Just go crazy at the front and ride them off your wheel. And Hansen sees what's happening here. He kicks in the 13 watts per kilogram here. Bang's going as well here, trying to hold on. They continue to open up the gap. I thought it might come back together, but no. 12 seconds now as Thorgensen here shuts it down, 3.8. Davis is out of it at this point. That's what they were looking for. Davis with the 16.6 sprint, and that's why they wanted him gone, knowing that he was one of the fastest turnover riders, one of the fastest kicks that you'll see out on course with that last 200 to 150 meters here. They're able to make that happen, and now we're just coming down to the punchers and the FTP type riders here, the pure power over time type riders. The sprinters have been taken out of the race now at this point. Mueller, though, going, it looks like with a 2-second gap. Oh, no, maybe not. Excuse me. That's just a little bit of a mix up there, it looked like there for a second in the riders nearby. Davis here goes to the front, 5.3, looking to grab onto the wheel, perhaps to grab that 20 seconds back. Don't think it's going to happen. Sad destructive ride. Oh, it's interesting to see Jens Fried Rasmussen here with a little bit of a comment there coming through, perhaps unhappy with something there from some of the riders in this category, perhaps here. But off to here, shuts it down, knowing that he's got the gap here at this point. Looked like he may have been able to just ride him off this wheel, but not going to be happening now. Bang here still going to the front, looking to hold on to the gap that they've established now. Maybe even break things apart here still. As M Bang goes to 5.2 on this little false flat, 2% gradient. Makes things very difficult for any riders that are looking for just a draft and some reprieve at this point. Clark jumps onto the wheel though, 4.7, and it takes over the second place position here. We do see it's going to be ECT just following Clark's wheel with Hansen there as well. And then off the does look like the riders are organized though. Starting to work together a little bit. Lursveen at the back there, 3.4 watts per kilogram. I'd be watching out for that for sure. How much work is Steen Lursveen going to be having in this pack? Because he's going to be looking to try and take the win here on this last lap here. So heading back to the front there. Oftedal starting to kick again. KRT. And I believe Oftedal here is going to be a rider that's going to be looking for a pure breakaway. After 64.4 kilograms in weight, we are seeing he can average 5.3 watts per kilogram for 20 minutes. So Oftedal, I believe, going to be the strongest breakaway rider, perhaps, with just some pure power to throw down into a TT effort. He'd have to get away over the top here. Burke Hansen, 62 kilograms as well. So it looks like Hansen as well as Oftedal, the two lighter riders amongst the group here. Hansen as well can put a solid 5.2 down. Neither of those riders have, well, actually, I believe Hansen actually with the solid kick amongst them as well with the 14 watt per kilogram. But that's not going to be quite as much pure power, though. Weighing in at 62 kilograms, actually. He's going to be one of the lightest riders amongst the rest of the group here. U23 rider, so he's got a kick, but it isn't just pure power out there. Up against a rider like Stian Lursveen up in 70 kilograms here with a 12.8. That's going to be a little bit more pure power, actually, from Lursveen. Amongst them, I'm going to say that it's most likely going to be Lursveen along with Clark. Actually, Nigel Clark there from the BRT team that may have some of the type of sprint that we're going to be looking for. But actually, Mads, you don't have the name Mads Bang Anderson for no reason, I think. And I have a feeling we'd be watching out for him as well. If I did have a choice in a sprint situation, we're looking at the Vikings with Lursveen versus Bang Anderson to the line. Oftedal, I think, along with Hansen, going to be looking to try and create a breakaway situation here as Hansen follows the wheel at 1.5 watts per kilogram current. No heart rate monitor on here, perhaps, or maybe just a dropout in it here. But Fusion ECT usually really good about that. So I have a feeling there may be some of the management saying, hey, buddy, got to have that heart rate monitor working. But we do always want to give the benefit of the doubt. A lot of times, just so everybody knows, the heart rates a lot of times can drop out if they are not connecting for some sort of a reason, actually. So Larry Parker, thanks a lot for the comment there. One more leg snap, and they're about to head into it, that's for sure. Michael Cox cheering on BRT. We'll see if BRT can make it happen out here. Nigel Clark is definitely still involved here. We'll see if he can make this sprint happen. He's going to have his work cut out for him as they do head into this final time over the top of the leg snapper. Only a 30-second gap at this point. It's not all said and done for the chase group, but they've been reserving some energy. These boys have been having to work a little bit more. Hansen now, as we did say, one of the lighter riders here, 62 kilograms only. He's going to have a lot of kick over the top here. Clark now going, though, up into 10 watts per kilogram. Watch out for him. He's been an instigator at the front of this leg snapper each and every time here. Mads Bang, it looks like here, making his way to the front as well. Lursveen, I think he's going to be looking for the sprint as one of the strongest pure power riders out here. I think he's going to be able to hang on over the top here. I don't think this is going much of anywhere. It does look like we do have the chases on here. Fusion ECT, maybe not looking to just shut things down, but at least be able to bring a few of these riders break a few of these riders off, as the top 15 in the results do get points toward the series. So Davis still has something to work for here as he puts out 10 watts per kilogram from Team Experimental over the top of the leg snapper here. Clark here now backing right on off the 2.7 watts per kilogram as they get in that super tuck and get a little extra speed on the downhill. It is over that negative 3% gradient. And that is an aero power up on those sections of the course if it is over 35 miles per hour. Now, Bang here now, as you do see, 4.0 watts per kilogram. Hansen now 6.6 here. Lursveen sitting in off the dog from the KRT at the back. Nigel now kicking, looking to make a little bit of advantage on this 6% uphill gradient. Nigel will come across, though, as Hansen now goes again. Off the down Hansen, I thought they'd try to get away, but it's going to be Clark actually that tries to make it happen. Gets a little bit more of a push here at the front. Finds a gap actually. And Clark, will he be able to walk away a little bit as he puts Bang into a little bit of a spot of bother? It's actually on the back. Bang here just trying to hang on, close things down. Can he do it? Lursveen here now swinging on through as he takes the speed onto the downhill, rolls right on through. Clark, being the instigator, suffers a little bit for it because he pulled everybody right along, and they whiplash right on by, but it's all back together. Here's your top 5 in the situation for the win in the Fusion ECT race number 6. 5 laps out on the Innsbruck ring is what we've been looking at so far. Who's going to take the win? Let's start hearing your predictions out here today as we head through the sprint section and into the final 2 to 3 kilometers out here. These boys have been absolutely hammering, and they have put in a lot of work to make this happen here actually with the breakaway. We actually do not usually see a breakaway situation with this kind of a field actually, so it's been a very difficult day out there. Obviously Norgard was out there hammering away. He was averaging 5.2 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. Hansen here now looking to get away. What we said, he was the lightest rider out on course, maybe not the rider with the most pure power for a sprint situation, so he is looking to break away. Off the also a rider I do not believe wants a sprint situation and looks to shut that down, though, or at least go with it. Bang Anderson jumps right back on. Looks like they're trying to soften up the legs perhaps a little bit before they do hit the finish line here. So Clark, BRT, Lursveen, Vikings, 4th overall currently. What's Clark sitting in for the overalls as well in the A category? I'm be looking through BRT. Nigel Clark currently sitting tied for 15th place. He has 6 points. This is going to be his best result actually in the series so far. So Nigel Clark looking for a solid effort here and a solid result actually. So this is going to really boost his, either way, with the top 5, he's going to get 8 points. For sure, he'll score somewhere between 8 and 20 points. That's going to be a big boost to his standings in the series. Maybe even jump him into a top 10 situation here if he can get into 4th place or better. 4th place or better, he'll be in a top 10 situation most likely here. So Nigel Clark, looking for the win, though. If he grabs that 20 points, will really boost him almost into a podium situation here. But Hansen here going from way out, does not want a pure sprint. He wants a breakaway situation here in the last 1 kilometer to go here. Nobody follows. Nobody even tries to close it down. 4 seconds is a huge gap. Lursveen here, the one who I said might be the pure sprinter, knows he's got to go at this point. He gets a gap. You can see it happening behind here, but Hansen continues on. The thing is, Do you chase this down? There is the reality that there is no heart rate monitor on this rider. They may be chasing a DQ'd rider here, but Clark here now maybe realizing it now backs off. No, 10 watts per kilogram. This isn't backing off. This is looking for the chase. Lurstream here he needs to follow the wheel here as they're getting dragged along. Bang Anderson jumps right onto the wheel here, and it looks like Hansen may be going from way too far out. Nigel Clark becomes the workhorse, sacrificing for people who aren't his teammates, looking to jump back onto the wheel here. Here comes Bang, though, and he's still got 10 watts per kilogram, and we're seeing why he's called Mans Bang Anderson as he looks to go all the way to the line. 8 watts per kilogram to finish it out. 547, but no, it looks like right at the line is Lurstream gonna pull it off. Stan Lurstream pulls it off. The pure sprinter, the smartest racer amongst them all. He followed wheel after wheel and grabs the win on the day. He wins the first race and he wins race number 6. Lurstream from the Vikings plays it smart, and I can hear in the background and the cheers in the background coming from his teammate Farah, who put the work in there. 39 seconds back there. Kay Farah's probably going, yes, for the Vikings. We did it, boys. We did it. And the Vikings now jumping into a podium spot, because the reality is with the Vikings out there today, they needed that to grab that podium spot, because Mads Bang Anderson up against, am I incorrect? No, it was a Christian Oftendal. I made a mistake. Lursveen and Oftendal, too similar. My bad, everybody. I just was looking at the jerseys. They look so incredibly similar. Lursveen actually comes through in 4th place. So my mistake, it was actually Christian Oftendal. Lursveen comes through in 4th. Let me just double check the results here. I think I completely got that mistake in here. Let me just double check our results here as they do come through over on our feed. And looking through, it is going to be Oftendal. Excuse me, everybody. The KRT kit and it was, so they're both out of Norway, you guys, and they're both in a blue and orange kit, at least a blue kit. Okay, so excuse the commentary there just a little bit, because the Norwegian flag along with the blue kit definitely made things a little bit more difficult there. But Oftendal, Tucker, you're right. I think it was Oftendal. KRT for the win. You got that right. And Christian Oftendal across the line there. Mads Bang Anderson, followed by Nigel Clark. Stian Lursveen coming into 4th. Still a solid result, though, for Lursveen. Nigel Clark, though, bumping up, though, a little bit. He's going to end up into a, I believe, top 10 situation here in the series overall because of that. Jesper Adderman here. Mike Davis there. Still with the solid result in 6th place. Klaus Nielsen, 7th there. It's going to be Simon Nielsen in 8th. Tobias Mueller for 9th. And far up there for the Vikings there in 10th place. Probably still saying yes there. For the Vikings because of that result, actually. It was still a solid effort there. Let's go ahead and see how things play out in the B category as they are heading to the line here. They are just a few meters out here. It was a solid, it looks like, breakaway here by Rosales here. He's trying to get away. We'll give him a ride on here. 194 beat sprint with 12 seconds. This is one of the most difficult situations to be in, actually. 12 seconds is just enough to try and hang on, actually. Tom O'Kalen, appreciate the comments. What is KRT? That's actually a great comment coming on through from one of the longest standing KRT riders here. 4.2 watts per kilogram, and at this point, David Rosales, all he is thinking about is what kind of watts per kilogram are those boys behind me putting out at 195 beats per minute. But Dauphin Williams, 13 watts per kilogram from the KRT riders. Is it going to be KRT A and B here? And Bowen trying to upset that, though. 6 seconds. He's got to keep it going here. Orange numbers. He's got to hold on. Dauphin Williams looking to close it down, and the speed is real here, boys and girls. And Williams is going to make it happen. 152 beats per minute here. 153. Keeping it calm here with the old man heart. And it looks like Williams will make it a KRT win in the A and B category. Solid result here for KRT. The kick is coming from behind here from the Fusion Dev, but it's too little, too late, as Rosales gets caught at the line as well by the Fusion Dev team, and it looks like it's going to be Larson, I believe, from Fusion Dev. We'll have to go back through the replay here in just a moment to see how that played out. But back in with the A category replay. Let's take another look at the A category replay, just because we did completely call it incorrectly, actually, as it did come to the line. So let's go ahead and see how it actually played out as the riders did open up their sprint here. And as you do see, it is going to be Clark, it looks like, trying to chase down Hansen, who went extremely early. Bang here goes with there is that 200-meter marker. Perfectly timed, it looks like, as he came by there. But Oftedal there, coming from third place, 9.8 watts per kilogram. You can just see that little bit extra that Oftedal had. He sat in until the final 150 there and just came across at the line here, as you can see, right at the last moment. There it is. It's going to be Oftedal, followed up by Bang, just hanging on. Clark almost nipping at the line, but ends up in that third place across the line. Steen Lerspein just behind there, actually, with that fourth there. Hansen rounding it out for fifth. Solid results all around there for that A category. In the B category, we're looking at Larson here. I'm wondering how things actually played out, though, in the B category between the riders, actually, as it was a solid result and solid kicks that we did see to the line here. And let's go ahead and take a quick look here. Dafford Williams, 8 watts per kilogram with the breakaway. Alexis Luge trying to hang on. That battle behind with Alexis Luge is actually extremely important for the overall, as he is sitting in third place overall. There's Williams across the line. Rosali still gets caught. And it looks like just behind here, it is going to be Larson, I believe, hanging on. We'll get the official results here in just a second. But no, just ahead was his teammate, actually. Borg, there along with Burgett there. Burgett battling it out for a third place still. And that's your series leader, actually. So let's get a quick look here and see how it actually played out here amongst the riders. There's Williams with that breakaway. 2 seconds is the difference here. It is going to be Nicholas Brandborg there. Kirk across the line for second place. Ivan Burgett defending for the Dirt Team, your current series overall leader in the B category. Solid result for him. Kenneth Larson across the line in fourth there. Michael Heiberg, followed up by Alexis Luge. That's your third place overall, actually, in the B category. So still a solid defense of that third place overall, I believe. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here. Heiberg, though, ahead of him, though, just nipping out Luge at the line. And Heiberg's actually second overall there. So all around, it's kind of the situation that we are seeing in the overall results in this series, actually, as Ivan and Burgett, Michael Heiberg, and Alexis Luge, that's your top three. So they kind of finish up in that order. But on the day, this is your results. They're Ned Bowen rounded out seventh, and the Cigar Gamray there in eighth, and it's going to be Russell Batchelor in ninth. Very aggressive rider on the day, though. We give a shout out to him and Dafford Williams, as they gave a lot of efforts to try and get away out there. Kevin Blades comes across for Vixen Fox there in 10th place. So, all right, one more category to cover, everybody. We're not said and done just yet. We are here and all about the community racing, and today we do have 3 of the categories to cover, and we still do have the C Riders out on course. Now, there is going to be a contingent of C Riders up ahead that will be finishing a little bit earlier, but they will be removed from the overall because they are over category limits, just so everybody knows. Holder here, though, 1.8 watts per kilogram, I believe. Maybe another rider. I'm going to have to double check here and see for the official results as they do come across the line. But from what I can see, Stuart Holder and Jack Brewer, both a little bit over category limits. They were up into that 3.7, 3.8, 3.9 watts per kilogram. So just a little bit too much for a C category win. Looking back, though, it is going to be the lead here coming through the sprint banner with about 2K to go. Spinozzi here out of Italy. Looks like Dahlin here. I believe Dahlin is your current series leader in the C category. No, excuse me, third place overall for the Vikings here. We've been cheering the Vikings on. Actually, this is an interesting situation as we've got the Dirt Team, Dahlin, and then McDonald. Crystal McDonald, fourth place overall currently. Is Ryan in here as well is going to be the question. This C category is a very competitive situation. I'm not seeing Charlie Ryan, though, for the NRT and NTR team, unless I'm mistaken. I'm going to keep scrolling through here, but Doherty here trying to go out of Ireland now to try and get away. Spinozzi as well. Here comes Peterson, though, kicking into, looks like 3.6 watts per kilogram out of Denmark now. Charlie Ryan, I think the only one amongst the riders in the C category not showing up on the day in the series overall. Charlie Ryan with 5 races, 62 points. He's tied with the dirt rider that we are seeing out on course. That's going to be Knez here. Knez there, it looks like out of Slovenia now making his way to the front. Dad's inside, riding trainers hammering away here, most likely being cheered on by the kids in the background here. We'll see if he can make this happen to the line. It's going to be a sprint, and this is for all the chips because, boys and girls, he's in first place currently overall, tied with Charlie Ryan, but he's got to hold on because Richard Dahlin is chomping at the bit with 3 races and 56 points, and the Vikings rider is right there with him. So, I mean, just waiting to pounce as well. Gooch is going here now. Spinozzi out of Italy now, 6.4 watts per kilogram. Solid effort here, going from about 600 meters out. It looks like it's going to be a lead-out train from him, though, as the Norwegian here, it's going to be Augustin. Now, looking to try and grab onto that wheel in that level 20 kit. Gooch here from Team Type 1. Doherty there as well. Knez now all getting stretched out with that elastic. The line is forming. They've got to bunch up and find that draft, or it's going to be said and done. Dahlin going from way out, it looks like here, maybe just trying to close things down, getting a little bit antsy, thinking maybe he's going to not be able to hold on. It's going to be Christian McDonald there as well of the USA. He's in 4th place overall, riding for NWCC. So the C category here really starting to get tactical. Christian McDonald, 4th place overall in the series, looking to go. He's got 4 races in, 40 points totally. This is going to really bump him up if he can make the win happen here. US of A here on the front, leading things out. Can he come across there? It's going to be Knez, though, from the dirt team up against Dahlin. Knez and Dahlin looking to try and take over that top spot and the win here. It's Knez versus Dahlin to the line, and oh my gosh, it's right there between the top 4 in the series. Oh my goodness, amazing sprint there, and I cannot call it. It was so close. That was right to the line. Let's see if we can take a look at the replay here, because that was absolutely awesome. Solid sprint between those boys, and that is actually for some serious points in the series, everybody. That's like that is actually no joke when it comes to the series overall here, actually. We'll see if I can bring up our situation here. And here we go. Yep, here, this is the replay from the sprint that we just saw. We saw Christian McDonald here kick very early, but it looks like it got closed down on here, and it was Knez here leading things out for dirt. Dahlin sitting on for the Vikings here as they're coming to the line, and right at the line here, it's coming right down to the final few meters, and it looks like Christian might have been able to hold on. I think Knez maybe just got Dahlin at the line. It's almost too hard to tell here. Let's go ahead and see if we can back it up just a little bit and look at this here. I mean, it's right to the line, you guys, right there. As they come here, I think Christian made it happen there. And then it was going to be, I believe, Knez followed up by Dahlin actually here. Let's go ahead and take a quick little look at the actual results. If we can get them to load. I'm just waiting for him to load up here. And it does look like it is going to be Christian. Did hold it off. Followed up by Isaac Knez there actually, and Richard Dahlin. The replay didn't lie, everybody. Marcus Kruger comes through for 4th there, followed up by Michael Peterson. Ido Harms there, followed up by Dag Argstrom. Hopefully I got that right for the Vikings. And then it's going to be Johan Veredens and then Andy Gooch for Team Type 1, followed up by Daniel Hasselman there, actually. So Charlie Ryan getting unseated from that top spot, actually. I believe Isaac Knez is going to take over for Dirt. Dirt with the domination in this series here today. Amazing job all around. Looking through the comments here, Berg Hansen letting us know, hi, my heart rate had a dropout on Zwift. However, I got all HR data from the race on my dual record Garmin. It will be public as soon as possible. Thanks so much, Berg Hansen. I absolutely love the comment there and that you jumped in here and let us know exactly what is going on. It's extremely helpful for everybody in the community with those kinds of comments there and making sure that everybody knows what is happening. So today, guys, everybody, if you want to check out the results, Fusion ECT Racing League, that's race number 6. If you are just joining the broadcast, you're like, where can I watch these? What's going on? Where are the VODs? VODs are saved for 30 days on Twitch, 30 days, I believe, on Mixer. They are always forever available over on YouTube, and they're forever available as well here on Facebook. A little bit more difficult to go find them and go back and watch them. I do suggest if you're ever looking for the VOD, really easy to head on over to the YouTube channel and watch over there. Also, all things Zwift Community Live, we have a website now, ZwiftCommunityLive.com. And actually, on ZwiftCommunityLive.com, there's a countdown timer that says whenever we're about to go live. When's the next time our next live stream will be? Make sure to head on over there, check that out, and you'll be able to know whenever we're going to go live. Hit that follow button over there, turn on your notifications. That's actually the Twitch stream, and get to chatting over there. Mike Davis lets us know that hurt. Thanks, Dave, for calling the race and making it hurt. They definitely heard you when the pain came around and the hammer dropped. Great race. Amazing job, everybody all around. I appreciate, this all happens because of community members, these community races. Big shout out to Fusion ECT. Big shout out to all the people showing up for the race and racing it. Great job to you guys out there, as well as great job and thank you to all of the viewers that show up. These broadcasts would not even be a thing without you. But next up for the broadcast, we're skipping another week of test labs because obviously the classics are happening, so we're going to back off a little bit again for test labs. I believe test labs are going to restart next week. We've got a lot of data. We've got a lot of cool feedback from test labs. Just so you guys know, it is not going away. We're just on a little bit of break to allow some other things to happen, as well as to analyze the data, try and get some more things to happen in response to your feedback and what we saw happen in the test labs. So test labs still coming back. We'll have, I believe, race number 6 next week for the test labs. It's going to be a fun one. I've got some cool plans for it. And then obviously we've got the lamb chop happening on Thursday. If you are up at 4 a.m. my time, or if you're in Australia or New Zealand or anywhere in the lands down under, make sure you jump into that handicap racing. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously the Zwift Classics are happening tomorrow on Thursday. Check those out. It's going to be great racing. I'll be there in the comments section cheering everybody on and hanging out with all you viewers. Thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, you guys, great job to all the racers out there, and right on. We've got the wrong one. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get the results up here, and then we'll be out.
Don't go.